right, guys, my detector's the best and it doesn't have any problems. Yeah, right. Well, we all know that there's no perfect metal detector. We all agree on that, right? Whether we use a Minelab, a DEUS II, or a Legend. We all agree that there's no perfect metal detector, right? Well, let's talk about this, guys. I kind of have a dream. And I would like to have a live stream where I had Nokta users, XP users, and Minelab users all living in perfect harmony, you know, just having a kumbaya, sharing their settings and sharing their detector experiences and talking about the pros and cons of this one, and this one. I've already got a live stream that's pretty good on these two, but you guys know that I have not showed this detector in quite a long time. But I think it's time to say, water under the bridge is water under the bridge. So, how do we accomplish this? How do we accomplish this kumbaya community? Well, let's set a standard. Let's talk about the negative of each one of these detectors and what I think the major negative is. Let's show that we are unbiased here in Calabash Diggerland, whether it's a Manticore, Minelab, a Legend from Nokta, a Simplex from Nokta, a DEUS II XP. You know, let's show that we believe in showing the facts, the reality. We don't believe skewing test results. We don't believe sweeping flaws of each detector under the rug. Let me go ahead and say this. A lot of the flaws that I showed in this detector have been corrected. Now, was that because I showed them and caught all that flack? Or is that because somebody else said so? Well, you know, that's debatable and water under the bridge. There's been a lot of corrections. This detector has evolved. And I'll go ahead and say this. I believe that this detector should have been released where it is now, but that's all hindsight's 2020. So, what have we got here? We've got 3 good performing detectors. We all agree on that, right? Whether you use this one, this one, this one. Do we believe that they're all equal in every aspect? No. We're not going to sell that fairy tale dream. That boat's done sailed. That ship's done sunk. We're not even going to go down that road. We're going to show each detector for what it is, how it performs, and it's based in reality, in structured testing and in the field performance. So, what is the major flaw of the Minelab Manticore? I can hear some people out there in YouTube land saying, the price, Calabash, the price. Well, it has one more glaring defect than that. It faults in iron in its current configuration. And let me say this before I start, all 3 of these detectors are updatable and all 3 of these detectors could be changed at any moment. So the flaws that I'm pointing out are not the end of the world. They could just be things that are going on in the current version that the manufacturers are working to correct. Hence, look at the Legend now. It just had a new update, 111. You guys that first had the Legend, how much evolution has a Legend went through? Think about it. Okay, so it's not the end of the world. As I critique each one of these metal detectors, put your knives away. Don't flip out, you know, because this could change any day. Faults and problem. I've talked about it extensively, so I'm not going to stay on it for 10 minutes. It has a major faulting problem on my colonial iron sights, and it's not just me that has reported this. People around the world have reported it, and I'm sure Minelab is working on it. Okay. Number 2, the DEUS II. Oh, Calabash is a DEUS II fanboy. He has a DEUS II hat on. I do love XP detectors because they suit my needs in what I do, diving and hunting iron. See that 9-inch coil on that detector? Superb coil and hunting iron. But does it mean that I won't tell it like it is? What is the major fault of the DEUS II in this current version? Full tones. What is full tones? For you Legend users, it's basically the 60 tones on the Legend, and it's one region all tones on the Manticore for you Minelab users. It's blurty. It's not clear, it's not precise. In the way that it behaves, I don't like it. The tones are basically subpar on this metal detector in this current version in full tones. Pitch audio, love the pitch in this. 5-tone, 4-tone, not a big deal to me. Others love it, but full tones, rubbish in this version. But that could change at any day, any time, because, like I said, all these detectors are updatable. So, what are some of the complaints that people have? Price on this one, antenna wire on this one, 86, 87 nail faults on this one. Let's see, I have a complaint about this one. Headphones are not waterproof or weatherproof, and that will go over to this one. I feel like manufacturers should be doing like this one and giving us weatherproof, waterproof headphones. But I also feel like manufacturers should have good multi-tones on their machines like these two have. Okay? So let's get it out there. We're not biased here. We know that there's faults with all these detectors. But we also know that all these detectors are not just engineered exactly the same, nor do they behave exactly the same. And we got to keep it in perspective and in reality. What is the major problem? If I could name one problem with the Legend that I have known about for a long time, but like I said, I've been setting to see if it got corrected, and it's not been corrected yet, but I've known about it for a long time, and like I said, I've not showed this detector. But what is the major problem? And we'll go ahead and give the workaround too, because a lot of times you can have a problem and there's a workaround while you're waiting on an update. What's the major problem with this detector? In my opinion, the major problem resides in the multi-frequency. M1, M2, and M3. And what is it? When you get targets at extreme depth with the Legend in M1, M2, or M3, you tend to have a jumpy tone where it'll jump mid, high, low, and you tend to have a jumpy ID, mid, high, low. Now, the workaround is this. You can switch it to 10 kilohertz or 5 kilohertz, and the ID will clean up and the tone will clean up. Like if it's a silver coin, you guys have seen me test it the last couple days against the Xterra, and you seen me test it against itself today. You seen me test the Legend multi-tones versus the single frequency tones of the Legend. That is the major fault of the Legend. Jumpy ID, sketchy tones that jump back and forth on extreme deep targets. Now, you may not see this down to the 9 or 10 inch realm. It may be, it's according to what soil you're in too, but in my mild soil, it's down around that 10 inch range and past, you'll start seeing this in multi. And that is the major problem of the Legend. We've got iron faulting with this one, which I don't relic hunt much with it anymore because of the iron faults, and I'm waiting on an update to fix that. We've got the full tones, which I have never used as long as I've had this DEUS II, and I had the first one in the United States showing it, or one of the first ones in the United States showing it, and I've never used full tones on it because they're subpar. Hope they get corrected, but this one, like I said, my major complaint about it is the way the multi-frequency handles extremely deep targets. So, told you the workaround on it. Single frequency, kick it over. You don't have to do that with these two detectors here. The multi-frequency on these detectors IDs at depth extremely well. So that is, you know, what is a plus of the Legend over these two detectors? Well, there's one clear obvious one, and that's price. I mean, you know, so you got to take all this stuff into consideration, you know. But to sit out here and just say that all these detectors are perfect. I've got people that stand in the corner of this one wanting to duke it out, claiming it's perfect. I've got people that get offended at me, and you guys know, I love this one. I use it for diving. I use it for relic hunting because of the 9-inch coil, but it's not a perfect metal detector. There are no perfect metal detectors. I love this metal detector. I love the 60 tones on this metal detector. You guys remember, well, they're not up anymore, but some of the first videos that I did, I talked about how good the 60 tones was and how good this machine sounded on silver. They got a good tone option in that 60 tones. It's got recovery speed on it. The iron filter, that is number 2 complaint. Just as this one's got 86, 87 on the nail faults and coming up in that range sometimes, this one has got too complicated iron filter system on it. And I said that in the past, and you know, I got some flack about that from some, but it's too complicated. I don't like it. And that's just another complaint. But the pros, good performance to price, Lightweight, 2 pounds. I mean, this is the lightest of all of them. You pop this remote off and it goes down to 1 pound and 10 ounces. So there's a lot of negative. You've got this right here, and if you don't line it up just right, it can pop off and be aggravating. You have to snap it into place. The Manticore, the shaft moves around. Better ergonomics on this one, but still not the perfect ergonomics, but better. You can swing it all day. Weight-wise, 2 pounds, 15 ounces. I think this one's 2 pounds, 15 ounces, 3 pounds, something like that, 3 pounds. But that's that. You know, can we have a community of different brand users all under one hub talking? Is that possible? I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments below. Do you think that it's possible to let water be under the bridge, everybody come together and sing kumbaya, attack the argument, and not attack the person? Is that something that could possibly happen? Or is it just a figment of my imagination, you know, or wishful fairy tale dream that we could have different users from different brands, you know, actually bouncing ideas and stuff off of one another? Could that possibly happen? You guys tell me what you think below. Thanks for watching.